Yeah.
So I've been following your work for years and years and years. I'm a big fan, not just your stand-up, but you were Brian on Half Baked, one of the best stoner movies of all time, in my opinion. You were on SNL for a bit. Can you do me a favor? Because I love this story. Can you tell the story of Norm Macdonald messing with Chris Kattan on that Twilight Zone sketch you were in?
Oh, boy. Well, back then, I think Pamela Anderson was the host.
Yes.
And so Chris wrote. I think from what I remember, his sketches. He wasn't in a lot of sketches. So Norm Macdonald, he was in the Twilight Zone. We did a Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
And Norm, he knew his sketches were getting on. Norm knew when his sketches were getting on. So it was like a ball player. When a ball player is really good, and he says, "I don't really need to do much spring training," it's because he knows what he knows his regimen.
Yeah.
Norm was no different. So his sketch gets picked up, even though he half-assed the whole thing. He's like, he's eating a carrot during the read-through. Imagine, if you will, a place in time when, so it gets picked up, and Chris was kind of upset and whatever. And then we made it through rehearsal, and Norm's half-assing the whole thing. Imagine, if you will, a place in time, And it's just kind of, and now we're coming to the camera blind. Now we're coming to the first dress show. And the audience is packed. And you got to remember, too, in defense of Kattan or anyone, we're talking about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So this is just circumstances way back then. And we're all in a pit against each other. So, so with that said, Chris started nagging at Norm, going, "God, you didn't sound like him. When are you going to try? Like, people are watching, and he's being a little extra loud so people can hear."
Uh-huh.
And I was a little taken back, because Norm doesn't take any from anybody. If you challenge him, he's squaring up with you immediately. I've seen him do it a million times.
Uh-huh.
But he's not doing anything. He's letting him talk like that. Like, wow, I can't believe he's letting him bark at him like that in front of an audience.
Yeah.
Now the sketch gets picked up. We're going to air. And as we're on air, right before, the guy's literally going, 20 seconds, Norm getting spot, Chris getting Breuer, you getting spot, blah, blah, blah. We line up, and Chris starts in front of a live audience. God, you should hear it. He doesn't even sound like the guy. It's going to be terrible. It sketches. Norm, are you ready for this? And the guy's like, 15 seconds. Like, God, Norm, we got 15 seconds. I can't even wait to see how to do it. 10 seconds. And Norm just, I believe he had like a cigarette in his hand. He threw the cigarette down like John Wayne in a movie, and he put it out, and he goes, "Kattan, why don't you just tell everyone that, you're gay?" He goes, "Yeah, everyone knows you're gay, and that's why you're mad, because you haven't been it yet. No one cares. We'll all accept it. 5 seconds." He goes, "Just no one cares, but that's why you hold all this frustration in. You're trying to take it out of me. At the end of the day, just say, I, Chris Kattan, I'm out of the closet. I'm gay, and we're live." And Norm just turned to camera. He's like, "Imagine, if you will." And just nailed it. And poor Chris was just, and whether it's true or not, just the fact that Norm challenged him in front of the crowd like that was one of the at that moment, it was one of the funniest times that it was moments like that I really got a kick out of SNL. Just the backstage, the busting the chops, and all that stuff that were really cool. And meeting the rock bands.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm sure. I love that story. Love that story. By the way,
way better on YouTube.
I'm just glad I got to hear it in person here.
Yeah.
Another story I love is your Lars story, but I'll let the listeners check that one out for themselves with the knapsack.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Here's the cool thing about Lars. When I toured with them, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, go ahead.
I said when I toured with Metallica, I didn't know what the heck I was going to be doing. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little freaked out because I'm a diehard Metallica fan.
Yeah.
So I kept putting myself in a position where what would I be listening to a comedian in front of Metallica? Like, what? And they didn't want so much. They said they wanted to do a type of show, like a variety. They didn't know. They just wanted to create something for the audience.
Okay.
So, long story short, I was dealing with some people, and they gave me like, okay, come out for 15 minutes, play some songs, and then maybe create something for 15 minutes. And then in 15 minutes, you do this, and then another 15 minutes, do it. And I flew out to see Lars. I pretended I was there for something else. I said, Lars, can we meet? He goes, oh, you out here? I'm like, yeah. I specifically flew out to see him. And I also know he's extremely creative, and he's got a lot of mastermind behind that band.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat with him. I go, will you be honest with me? What exactly did you envision when you said we're going to have Jim start the show? And he looked at me and he goes, to be honest with you, you know all of us very well. You know the music well. You know the fans well. Because you know how to read an audience. I've seen you. He goes, just give the fans an experience. Because tell them the stories, how you met James and have dinner. Tell them how we met. Tell them how the times we hung out. Tell them those stories. And he goes, to be honest with you, we love having bands, but a lot of times the crowd won't show up for a band. They just want to see Metallica. And it's a bummer for bands. It's a bummer for anyone that opens for us because we want to launch them. He goes, but the thing you got to remember the most is you don't have to be funny. And when he said that to me, it changed the whole dynamic of what I saw touring in front of Metallica.
Wow.
And it really, and every single show, for the first 2-3 legs of the tour, Lars would come up to me right before he walked on stage. They do this whole circle thing where they get together and they do like a little prayer before they go up there, and they pump each other and they hand pump everyone. He would come up to me and go, Jim, is there anything that we could do to make your experience better? Is there anything we could do that'll make your life easier? Every single night, that's how much Lars is hands-on with things, and I will always, always, always be thankful and appreciative for that guy. And yes, I bust on the chops and I tell the knapsack story and there's very funny stories with him. But there's this other side to him that is extremely, I don't think a lot of people know about, that I think they'd be blown away if they knew Lars.
Wow. That's so cool, man. I love getting this insight from you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that.
No, yeah.
I mean, literally, right before you go on stage, you come around, is there anything? I'm like, no, man, thank you, because you'll tell me, right? I'm like, yes, I'll tell you, absolutely.
So cool, man.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Well, once again, we're talking to Jim Breuer, hilarious comedian, definitely a friend of the rock world. He's going to be at the Mesa Theater doing 2 shows on Saturday. Got tickets still available at mesatheater.com, and we're going to be giving away some tomorrow here on 95 Rock. Jim, can't thank you enough, man, for taking the...
Hey, man, thank you guys so much. I hope everyone comes out to the Mesa Theater. I'm going to crush that place, and I wish you all the best, and thanks for having me, brother. Be safe.
Hey, you too, man. I will see you there.
You got it. Take care, brother.
All right, you too, pal.